Greetings everyone, my name is Steele, and welcome back to Perceptions of the Dead Volume 2. On our last adventure, we got a little light shed on the past and had an interaction between Tyrone and Owen, which took place well before Jill's very first chapter in Volume 1. And it seems like the events that are unfolding right now are taking place in between Chapters 2 and 3 of Volume 1. Now we're on a rescue mission, quote unquote, to go see if we can find Tyrone and find out why he's been missing for so long and what he's been up to. But we also have to deal with a null on our ass as well, which is not good specifically for Jill because she's still human. Everyone else is dead. Everyone else is a ghost. But we managed to find a hotel that Marcus has reserved some rooms for, and Jill is about to plop her face into the middle of a pillow. Jill marched into the room, locked the door, and fell flat on the bed, asleep before she landed.
I'm still outside. Just because I can walk through doors doesn't mean I want to. Rude.
It was morning by the time Marcus finally arrived, though there was no sign of the sun yet.
Oh, thank God.
Good hustle, brah.
I hate you.
That's just the bad vibes burning away. Oh, we should do this tomorrow.
I will kill you. Again. Oh, God dang it! The door is locked! If the girls got here safely, they could let us in.
I'll go find Jill.
Good call.
Owen winked out of sight with a soft pop. Oh my God, that's awesome.
Wait, could he have done that earlier? He could have made them pick us up. I hate him. So much.
I love this game. This is awesome. This is an amazing story.
Light the brazier. Preparations are made.
The flickering light of the fire cast wild shadows over the room.
Invocavi for spiritum, vid inter me. Invocavi for spiritum, vid inter me. Invocavi for spiritum, vid inter me.
The words echoed oddly, as though the chamber were far less cluttered and small than it appeared.
Advocavi for spiritum, vid inter me. For spiritum, vid inter me.
This time the echo was violent and distorted, coming back with force.
Advocavi for spiritum, vid inter me.
The earth began to shake, and even the air seemed to move, listless with worry.
Advocavi for spiritum, vid inter me.
Silence and darkness, and then a voice she would never forget.
Why have you awoken me, bound one?
I'm here to wake you up, brah. Jill, wake up, wake up.
Jill started awake, Owen's eyes meeting her own.
Good morning, brah.
Owen, what did I tell you about waking me up?
Yeah, I know, but Marcus is outside, and he's just run a few kilometers short of a marathon, so I thought you'd want to let him in.
Marcus!
All at once, reality caught up to her, and she threw herself up.
Marcus is alive! And you are too! Kinda.
I'll go let him in.
I forgot you were there.
Ripley didn't reply as she vanished into the shadows of her own hair.
That feels weird, even for a ghost.
Bro, why is she allowed to watch you sleep all creepy from the corner, but I'm not? It's because I'm a boy, isn't it? That's called sexism, brah, and that's not cool.
Jill threw the blanket over Owen, passing through him. I'm sorry. Just the way his interaction just threw me off. Jill threw the blanket over Owen, passing through him to little effect.
Rude.
What time is it, anyway?
Real early. It's still dark out.
I'm gonna regret getting up right now.
Yeah, early to rise and all that, brah.
Rising before the sun sure doesn't feel healthy.
Well, we're pretty far north. If you waited for the sun, you'd miss most of the day.
Yeah.
Jill pulled on her jacket as she got out of bed.
Let's go check on Marcus.
The chill burned her face as she left the room. She hadn't noticed it as badly last night, not with everything coupled with her exhaustion, but the difference between the heated room and the spacious foyer was like heaven and hell.
Only perhaps reversed.
What was that?
Just thinking out loud.
Jill's breath fogged and she froze mid-step.
It's so cold in here, it looks like I'm smoking. Look, I'm like a pothead.
Look at me, Jim, smoking.
Owen, you're dead.
Oh yeah, I guess it's just a haunting then. Spooky.
It's kind of interesting that he can interact with the cold, though, because normally it's the ghosts that create the cold spots, but they don't have breath to emit from their mouths. That's an interesting touch of the story. Jill stood still as she looked around, the air thickening with a misting cold. Jill's hand fell to her pocket. Her phone was faintly warm. The moment of hesitation was gone as she pulled out her phone and launched the streaming app.
Good morning, gals and ghouls. We're here today with a very special broadcast.
Do her followers just keep her channel open until she's ready to stream, just like preemptively hoping that she turns her phone on?
Our first real haunting since St. Heart. And I suppose most, if not all of you, and Owen.
Hi, guys.
I mean, there were a couple of maybes here and there. And that thing I heard in the bathroom that one time you told me to avoid. So don't be weirded out or anything by me panning around and examining the room around me. Just looking for anything I can't see with my good old ghost sight. My 3-month-old ghost sight.
It looks super clear to me, brah.
Exactly. This fog or mist or whatever, it's ghost fog or something. I'm not exactly an expert on this.
Wow, do you think we'll see a ghost? I've always wanted to see a ghost.
Owen!
Yeah?
You are a ghost.
Oh.
Owen went silent, his eyes distant, contemplative. Oh, God, Owen, you are the greatest. Jill hoped she hadn't snapped him out of whatever daze let him persist. She needed the company right now. As quickly as the mist had come, it began to fade, accompanied by voices only recently familiar.
So I was right. You could have poofed to her at any time.
Frankly, I'm more surprised he wasn't dragged behind the car. He may be a bit more impressive if he can...
Her words cut abruptly as she saw Jill and Owen walking towards them.
You didn't have to get up.
I wanted to see if Marcus was okay and ask what happened.
Oh, it's easy. I have no idea. I found Owen. He was fine. Couldn't Owen have told you this?
Owen forgets that he's dead sometimes. I don't trust him to not leave anything out.
I forget to add sugar to the cookies one time, and all of a sudden I can't remember anything.
Like that. That's never happened with me.
It's not uncommon for low-power specters to mimic their former selves while being little above an animal in sentience. Though that would only raise more questions about how he managed to stay behind.
I'm super glad that Owen is a mystery and all, but could I ask if you guys saw this spoopy-doopy ghost mist?
Ghost mist?
Can't say that I have, though I suppose it does feel a little colder than normal. That's a sign of ghosts, right, Ripley?
It's a sign that you're scared. It's normal human biology. Are there ghosts in this town like the bellhop said? Yes. Are they remotely powerful enough to manifest temperature changes? Probably not. If it's not obvious yet, I already have a solid theory as to the story behind Tyrone's vanishing act.
Oh? Well, do tell.
Small town, very poor. No real major businesses. It's a recipe for crime. Tyrone comes in here, bankrolling his trip with the money he makes. Probably did this excursion at a loss. Someone sees a guy with that kind of money and targets him. Maybe it's a simple mugging gone wrong. Maybe a kidnapping with no idea who to contact with the paranoid way Tyrone does these jobs. Point is, once Marcus has had a chance to rest, we should head to the police station and ask about any John Does.
Ripley left towards their room as the group stared after a gate.
No way. No way he is gone for 4 years and comes back fine, only to disappear in North Dakota.
Marcus said the words, but even Jill could tell he was uneasy with how simply the theory fit the narrative. Jill watched as Marcus followed after Ripley, following her into their room.
Owen, would you mind watching me while I sleep and waking me up if something happens?
I thought I wasn't supposed to.
Yeah, normally you're not, but just for tonight, I kinda like the company.
Are you gonna get mad if I hum Weezer?
No, it's fine.
Jill looked to her phone, panning in a circle as she spoke.
Well, that's enough excitement for this morning. Going to sleep a bit more. I'll see you in the...
Whoa, whoa. Oh, it's Tulip. What happened to her? Jill nearly dropped the phone as she whirled to see what she had thought she had seen in it. A girl, young in her teens and at the same time oh so clearly dead. The hallway behind her was empty. She knew to trust her ghost sight for such things and the camera to see the real world around her. But there was no mist, no girl, nothing.
Yeah, Owen, sing me Buddy Holly.
Oh no, I am terrible at remembering words, but I can hum a mean tune. Da 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 ba na.
He's actually doing it. With that, Owen began to hum a melodic, though horrifically incorrect rendition of something, and Jill made her way back to her room. I cannot commentate with him. He cracks me up every time. He is the best character in this game. He's still going, Jesus Christ. Joe woke up to the smell of waffles.
I'm up.
That was it. Da 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 something Buddy Holly. Blah blah something Mary Tyler Moore.
You can stop now, Owen. It's breakfast.
When Jill stepped out of her room, she was more than a little surprised to find Marcus already ahead of her, walking towards the stairs. He called back as he noticed her exit.
Hey, morning.
How in all heck are you so perky?
Marcus doesn't need much sleep. Marcus is, as I have said before, an anomaly, much like your friend.
Aw, do you consider me your friend, Jill?
Oh my gosh, Owen, yes, for the billionth time.
Aw, that gives me feels, brah.
The three caught up to Marcus despite his eager pace.
I'm going to go and get some breakfast. Something smells good.
He must be making a lot if we're smelling it all the way up here.
What's this guy's name, anyway?
Jill turned to Ripley, though Ripley just kept glaring at Owen.
I didn't ask.
I kind of forgot to ask after everything and how tired I was. Sorry.
Don't worry about it. If I ask, it won't look weird for you two.
The group made their way down the stairs and through the foyer to a lobby from which the smell of food wafted.
Hello there. What's on the menu this morning?
Good morning. Holy shit. You have got to be Marcus Rookard.
Marcus paused and looked back to the girls who looked as confused as him.
The family resemblance is, well, geez, hard to believe to say the least.
So there is a tie between him and the Rookard family that the hotelier was talking about last episode.
I'm a novice historian of a sort, and I've seen pictures of who I assume is your grandpa or great-grandpa, and I swear, you look like he walked straight out of the page.
Marcus seemed unplussed. Is that how you say that? Nonplussed by the comment, but Ripley eyed the man with narrowed eyes.
Before any of you get the wrong idea, I'm exactly the age I look. Unlike some of you freaks of nature, I'm not a gore, I am immortal.
Marcus then turned back to the hotelier and added,
In a hyperbolic sense.
I assumed that. Though we did have a vampire convention come through here when I was a kid, so I wouldn't immediately dismiss it. On the subject of breakfast, I hope you're all hungry because I drastically misjudged the amount of batter I would need. I've got about 30 waffles made. Oh, and funny thing about the waffle iron. I must have originally got it from here and just kinda didn't notice thanks to inattentional blindness.
The hotelier flipped up a waffle which had the name scribed into it, Rookard.
Holy shit, they've literally got my name on them.
That's an awfully big coincidence.
I mean, the hotel used to be called Hotel Rookard after its owners. I mean, the previous owners. We've got placards to the Rookards tucked away in the basement from before the owners tried rebranding the place. Not that it helped. So, how many you want?
I'll take a square 24.
I'm not hungry.
I want 2 waffles, please.
Joe shot Owen a discouraging glance, though whether due to willful or benign ignorance, he didn't notice.
I guess I'll just have the last 4.
The hotelier was quick to serve them all a plate, and Jill tried not to watch Owen's attempts to eat the meal. Fortunately, the hotelier himself was far too enamored by the sight of Marcus to notice the attempts of the ghost to eat.
So, I have to ask. Are you here to learn more about your family history? I just find it very odd that you would show up and have no idea where you were.
Believe it. I barely even knew my father before he died, and my mother got pregnant after a one-night stand.
Believe it! I gotta go save Tyrone, damn!
I mean, I was lucky. She desperately wanted kids, and it wasn't a teenage pregnancy or anything. But my dad didn't know I existed until I was in my teens, and then I only met him twice. Point is, I'm only named ROOKARD because my mom thought it sounded like a strong name and wanted to give me something of my father's. I wouldn't have known about my family history without you expressly telling me. That and the waffles.
Jesus, Marcus. Chew, man, chew! To punctuate the end of his story, Marcus dexterously shoveled 3 entire waffles into his face. Oh my god, you're gonna choke.
That is crazy. I mean, not your story. I mean, honestly, it sounds perfectly plausible. I'm just shocked that you'd end up here on accident.
It certainly stretches coincident.
Well, I don't know about you two gentlemen, but I promised your female companions a telling of the ROOKARD family history. I imagine you would have equal, if not more, interest than they, Mr. ROOKARD.
Marcus shrugged. Sorry, I prematurely pushed the space button on Ripley. Didn't mean to cut her off like that.
I don't like history, brah.
Ignore him. Go ahead.
Well, I'll summarize a fair portion of this town's history by telling you that we became really big during the boom of spiritualism in the 19th century. Somehow spiritualists one after another gathered here and people flocked to see them. Even after the movement lost steam, Misty Morning was already a big city. It didn't need tourism to maintain itself. It had businesses and a thriving economy. That's not to say it didn't wear its history on its sleeve. Though the popularity began to die down, people still came from near and far to meet the mediums and psychics that the town was famous for, well into the early 20th century.
Kinda sounds like Salem.
That's where the story starts to turn from historical and more towards myth.
It's Salem, Massachusetts. There's 3 different Salems in New England. There's Salem, Massachusetts, Salem, New Hampshire, and I believe there's a Salem in Vermont as well.
You see, the large number of spiritualists here, all constantly reaching out to the other side, calling to the dead. It is said that their actions drew an acutely large number of ghosts here. If you would believe the stories, they were as common as bugs or rats in a big city. And the more concentrated here, the more they called out to others of their own kind, until it said that the city began to succumb to the hauntings. Factories had catastrophic failings, businesses had misfortune beyond reason, and within a few short decades, it looked like the town had reached a critical point where its spiritualistic past was about to end any chance it had at a future.
Makes sense.
Jill looked at Ripley incredulously. I gotta look at that word for a minute. Makes sense? What makes sense? Did she know something Jill didn't? Darn her, well, Jill had questions.
I assume that's when the ROOKARDs became involved?
Exactly. The ROOKARDs were a prominent family in the town at the time. They had investments enough that if the town fell, they would be left paupers. So, it is said, they gathered the remaining spiritualists and all manner of arcane and eldritch texts and began work on something. Unfortunately, it's at this part that everything gets really hazy. They did something, a ritual of some sort. That much is in police records. Around half of the family killed themselves in that ritual.
A blood ritual or blood sacrifice?
The other half began roaming around town like some Pinkerton Union breakers. After that, there's a lot of miscellaneous information I can direct you to, but one thing is clear. The ghost problem was gone.
What? Why? What did they do?
I don't really know. Something about the ritual cut sightings and happenings down to the rates of some place as mundane as Smallville.
Smallville isn't a real place. Also, what's a Pinkerton?
It's a historical reference. If you understood the Union Breaker part, then you understood enough.
Anyway, the damage was done, unfortunately, and the town has been slowly crumbling for the last century or so. We've got a city half the size of Detroit with the population of Podunk, Mississippi.
Jill started as, of all people, Marcus broke his silence, eating with a question.
Were there anything different about the sightings after the ritual?
Swallow, dude! The Hodelia's eyebrows rose in shock before his face turned to a knowing smile.
You know your stuff, don't you? Yeah, okay, this is gonna sound super weird, but after the whole ROOKARD family thing, we started getting sightings of extraterrestrials.
What? Like UFOs?
Nope. not UFOs, but extraterrestrials, ETs, Greys.
The nulls. Because they look like aliens.
Or really, whites in our case.
They look like transparent aliens.
Tall, impossibly thin, huge eyes, and white as freshly fallen snow.
Oh wow, Ripley just went pale. Jill cocked her eyebrow in confusion at this. It certainly made very little sense, but when she turned to Ripley, her confusion only grew. The woman's face, normally a dark brown, was pale. Jill didn't know that ghosts could flush. That was a really cool touch. I just noticed that as soon as she went wide-eyed. Oh, it's really cool attention to detail.
Now, I haven't ever seen one myself, but the reports are strangely uniform.
The hotelier paused for a moment, walking to a backpack, before returning with a drawing. To be more accurate, it was a copy of an illustration from a book. The caption read, "Witness's Illustration."
Yep, that's an alien. I got abducted once.
That would explain a lot, Owen, truly.
Thank you for all the information.
No worries. I know a lot more if you need to ask. I'm a novice historian, as I said, though really only for this town. Here's my number.
Jill took the proffered paper.
I do most of my real job here in this lobby. Feel free to come by if you want to talk, or call if you're around town. Or, if you'd like, I can come with you and play tour guide.
No, we'll be fine.
Aw, he sounds really lonely and he just wants to be around people that he can talk to.
Plus, don't you have to stay here in case someone shows up?
The hotelier laughed and then realized Jill had been remotely serious.
No one's going to be staying here anytime soon.
Well, we'll think on it.
Thanks for the breakfast, dude.
Yeah, good cooking.
You didn't even touch yours.
Huh.
Jill could see that Owen was drifting towards an existential crisis.
Well, we gotta get going. Lots to do today.
See you later, man.
Peace, brah.
Ripley merely nodded. Let me retry that. Ripley merely nodded as the band stepped outside.
Well, I suppose we should hit up the police station first, right?
I'll go with you and sneak past if we need to look at restricted materials. Jill, you should go and ask around town. Find shops. Ask if anyone has seen a creepy guy in a hood wandering around town. We might get lucky, and I'd like a second set of eyes looking around town for anything.
I don't really want to sound like a coward, but are you sure you want just me and Owen wandering around trying to find whatever kidnapped Tyrone? 'Cause I'll be honest, I came to him for help and somehow let myself kind of get roped into helping you find him.
It just floats across everybody.
Point is, if I find whatever got him, exactly what makes you think I can do anything about it?
I fucking love Owen. Ripley paused.
A fair point. I suppose it would be fine for you to stay with us, if you would rather. I would prefer we make short work of our search by splitting up, but I don't want to press upon you any undue danger.
You talk funny.
I'm old.
She's well spoken, brah.
Dude, I think he's starting to like me.
Ripley began to walk.
I'll see you inside if I see you. Someone needs to rein in Ripley, though.
Marcus hurried after her.
Okay, I'm waiting for Jill.
Jill waited a moment as Marcus and Ripley left earshot, and then her phone was out.
Okay, here we go, gals and ghouls. Do we visit the police with Ripley and Marcus, or should I go look around town?
Ooh, that's actually a really good question. I kind of like the idea of sticking together, because I don't like that the null is out and about, though it doesn't seem like we're in danger for it right this moment. I don't want to risk having it show up and us being split in groups of two and Owen being absolutely no help against it whatsoever. I'm going to say let's stick with Ripley. She nodded.
Got it. Let's go, Owen.
Jill hurried after the pair. None of the group spoke as they piled into Marcus's car. The police station, or perhaps sheriff's office, was closed, and they were there before any conversation really had a chance to get rolling. As they piled out, Jill's phone buzzed in her hand. An unfamiliar number was on the screen.
Guys, head in. I'll be right there.
Roger that. Scream if something terrible happens.
You got it.
Oh, thank you. That's so comforting. Hello? Tortellini sandwiches, that was loud!
What the hell was that?
Hello? Anyone?
The static came back constant with no reply.
Whoever this is, your connection is very bad. Call me back if this is an emergency. Otherwise, bye-bye.
Jill angrily jammed the end call button, her ear still ringing. She followed the pocketing of her phone with a deep breath and thumbed at her ear. She knew she would never be able to tell if there was damage to her hearing by touch, but somehow touching the offended appendage gave her a sense of relief. Then, with a long sigh, the tension leaving her shoulders, she stepped inside.
I know we haven't brought in someone like that. I suppose you could speak with the coroner. There was a body a few days back. I never saw it.
Saw it? I seen it. I never seen it.
Saw it, I mean. The coroner is in today, though, doing an autopsy on some old fellow who had a heart attack at 1,000,000 years old. But the wife was worried about foul play, but she's crazy. But hey, he was free. Might as well, you know. He's downstairs.
The policeman turned back to his book.
Really? We can just go downstairs?
You really haven't ever lived in a small town, have you?
I haven't either.
If you screw with anything, I'll just shoot you.
Wow, thanks. The officer looked up to a wink and gave a warm smile as the group walked towards the stairs.
So did you already talk to him?
It's a quiet town. He summarized the entire month before you came in the door. If we're gonna have any luck, it'll be with the coroner and the John Doe.
Bad luck, you mean? Hoping this turns up a dead end.
Yes.
Cool. Let's go meet him, I guess.
Let Marcus do the talking.
Wait, why me?
Who's there? Oh, hello. You don't look like officers.
We're not. We're hoping to not identify your John Doe from the other day.
And you kind of look like Gus from Breaking Bad, so I'm not too sure on how well I can trust you.
Sorry?
Our friend is missing, and we are hoping to rule out the body you saw the other day as his fate.
I bet you one of these fucking cabinets here, you pull the lever out and it's going to reveal a secret entrance leading down to a meth lab.
Well, I'm afraid they aren't here anymore. Nothing about the deceased made me think it was anything other than what it appeared. A kid exploring an abandoned building hit their head when they fell through a weakened floor. No evidence of foul play, just bad choices by a young kid.
Describe them?
The coroner was staring at the coverage sheet of the dead man and he had been examining before their arrival.
Late teens, early 20s, young, well-kempt, blonde.
Doesn't sound like our Tyrone. Well, just to be sure he didn't dye his hair or something, was the kid black?
No, he was white.
Not Tyrone.
Was it Owen?
Well, I'm glad for you, though I am still worried for the boy's family. He's not local.
What are the chances they'd get two mysterious out-of-towners?
Tyrone? I think I may have met your friend. It must have been almost a month ago. We hit it off at a bar. I started talking about a book series I swear I had thought I was the only real human to have read. And I got a little too excited and drank too much. My most vivid memories of that night are him practically carrying me home. Haven't seen him since, though.
Could you describe him more?
Well, he had these ridiculous violet eyes. Never met someone with violet eyes before.
Alright, his accent is either Minnesotan or Canadian. Those two accents are way too similar for me to really tell the difference.
Yeah, that's Tyrone.
The only difference is he's not saying eh.
Did he tell you anything about why he was in town?
He said he was a professional paranormal researcher. I immediately assumed he was one of those ghost chasers, but talking to him for a few minutes about it quickly changed my mind. That was before we started talking books.
I'm just waiting for him to pop in a you betcha. That will definitely give it away.
But yeah, good to see some real research done in the field. It would be nice if we could separate fact from fiction on these things. Death is already painful enough without myths about possible persistence warping our perception of it. Sorry, not only am I oversharing, but now I'm spouting about my beliefs. Not terribly professional.
No harm done. We're not exactly here in a professional capacity either. Hey, if you hear from Tyrone again, or if you see anything weird, call us.
Marcus held out a business card.
Are you paranormal investigators too?
Yeah, but we're more of the trashy ghost chasers kind.
Jill shrugged as Ripley shot her a glare.
Pays the bills on the real research, you know?
I can appreciate that. It's for a similar reason that I'm here, I suppose.
The coroner looked at the card and cocked an eyebrow.
Software designer.
And that is what pays the bills when the other two fall through.
The coroner let out a small laugh.
Yeah, I can really appreciate that. I will do so. Good luck finding your friend, you three.
Thanks, man.
Let's go.
As the three climbed the stairs, Jill heard a whisper in her ear.
Girl, where is your ghost?
First of all, Owen is not my ghost.
Girl, where is your man?
Second, I have absolutely no idea.
The question was soon answered as the three reached the top of the stairs and saw Owen chatting with the officer on duty. Is everyone in this game able to just see the ghosts? I thought it was only Jill and Tyrone that were actually alive that had the vision of the veil or something like that.
And they didn't arrest you.
Nah, brah. Dude wasn't even sure what to charge us with, let alone if he could.
That's just... Oh man, I can't even imagine where to start myself. I mean, I guess the only property you damaged was your own.
Owen, there you are.
Hey, Bros. How was the, spooky basement?
The basement isn't spooky, man. Come on.
Nah, brah. All morgues are spooky. Too spooky for me, at least.
Hard to imagine a guy who did that is scared of dead bodies.
Ain't the bodies I'm afraid of, brah.
We were wondering where you went.
Brah. Come on, we have been friends for like years or maybe months. You should know by now.
Brah, like, you should know that our friendship is like this, brah. We are tight. You should know me by now, brah.
I don't do morgues.
Brah.
Please, think to warn us next time. We'll leave a sitter.
Marcus had already walked past them into the cold air outside.
What's up with him?
He doesn't do morgues very well either. Something to do with his father.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. My uncle is the same. Well, yous have a safe stay. Good luck finding ghosts.
Can do.
What did you tell him?
Oh no, man, just the basics.
Owen. Oh, man, he is a card. Like, he is, like, a ray of light in this game. The whole game is kind of upbeat with a little bit of terror thrown here and there, but Owen is he is a consistent comedy relief that makes this that much more entertaining. All right, so it seems like this whole volume is going to be quite long. So I'm going to end this here. I think I'm going to try to split these up in 30-minute increments. I don't know if this will end on an even 4-episode consistency or if it'll be 3 or however long it's going to go for. But I think this is the pattern that I'm going to go in. But this is getting kind of interesting. Now we're getting more insight into Marcus's background, where his family owned the hotel that they're staying in and did a ritual that wiped the entire city out of its ghost infestation. And now Jill is getting a call by some unknown disembodied voice. And hopefully that isn't anything too sinister, because the last thing I want to have to deal with is her life being on the line. And Owen's just kind of being himself, and Ripley's just kind of being herself, whatever that's really like. I mean, Ripley doesn't really do much, though she does seem to have a lot more going on than she's letting on, if you know what I mean. Like, she seems to possess a lot more knowledge about certain things that are happening than what she's describing to everybody. And Owen, man, he's just a laid-back, chill, cool dude, and I love him. All right, I'm going to pause it right here. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then thrust your mouse upon that like button. Keep playing it awesome, and I will see you all on my next adventure.